In the long, cold arithmetic of the cosmos, there are truths that do not bend to argument. Entropy increases, stars are born and die, and certain names gather the gravity of myth until they become principles rather than people. Galactus is one of those names. He is not simply a being who eats worlds, but an index in the ledger of existence, a condition under which galaxies trade their fuel, so the universe may continue its slow conversation with being and non-being. Thanos is, conversely, the ferocious punctuation of consciousness, a mind that insists upon meaning, an intelligence that refuses to let suffering be incidental, and a will that will cut and measure existence to achieve an idea. Where Galactus is inevitability, Thanos is intention. The story that leads them to the same point is therefore not a tale of two muscles clashing, but two metaphysical claims sharpening into conflict. Worlds whisper that the Devourer first woke when an old universe folded into the new. His hunger is woven into cosmology. He walks with a patience deeper than time, because his function demands cycles: feed, spare, convert, repeat, so that the fabric of reality remains taut. Thanos grew on Titan, among ruins of utopian dreams and the rusted gears of morality that failed his people. He learned calculus of ruin and of solutions, of sacrifice as currency. That education makes him ruthless in practice and almost tender in theory. He believes to obliterate is sometimes to preserve a kind of order, and with the gauntlet or without it, he seeks to translate suffering into symmetry. The place where their philosophies meet is in the ledger of consequence. Galactus argues by the sheer example of his existence that life and death are bookkeeping entries in the universe's long economy. His consumption is not malice but necessity, an act that prevents cosmic stagnation. Thanos argues with the rhetoric of a surgeon that scarcity must be enforced for balance. When the universe courts waste, it must be taught austerity. Their auditoriums are not marble but nebulae, and the hushed orbits of dead suns. Their interlocutors are civilizations, some saved, many sacrificed. This is why their eventual collision is more than celestial spectacle. It is a dialectic given arms and heat. In the centuries before the fight, Thanos gathers data as a priest gathers relics. He cultivates artifacts capable of altering frameworks, stones of reality, fragments of might, cunning alliances with abstract powers. He studies Galactus like a mathematician studies a proof he cannot yet disprove. Galactus, when he turns his awareness toward the Titan, listens like a force listening to a small weather event, acknowledged, measured, unhurried, yet even inevitability can be provoked. Thanos does not seek merely to kill, he seeks to make an argument with his actions. He will not accept being a variable adjusted by an unconscious cosmological mechanism. He will press his will until the universe yields or until he destroys his own desire to be right. Thus the bait is set. Thanos engineers scarcity, wrests hold of a cluster of worlds whose sacrifice will force Galactus's attention and perhaps by clever arrangement extract from the Devourer a concession or a weakness. Galactus answers by arriving. He does not scream or boast. He converts light and possibility into a presence that rewrites the local physics. The debate escalates into a visible argument, novae flicker, where their claims intersect. Entire civilizations become footnotes in their rhetoric. Philosophers, mortal and immortal, gather at the margins to translate the fight into language. Is destruction that sustains more merciful than destruction that disciplines? Can a mind that imposes its morality on billions be less guilty than a cosmic law that consumes them as fuel? Those questions hang in space where commanders exchange strategies. They are the true ammunition. When stars themselves form opinions and black holes cough judgment, the stage is set. Each combatant has made his case with actions, Thanos by design and cunning, Galactus by an existence that cannot be otherwise. The universe leans forward. The clash begins without the theatrics mortals expect. It begins as a rearrangement of possibility. Where Thanos stands on an accretion of basalt pulled from dead worlds, the gauntlet, when worn, is a lens through which he refracts cosmic law. Galactus arrives as horizon and heat, an engine of the power cosmic that reorders atoms into an appetite. Thanos opens with strategy. He unleashes reality-warping pulses to fracture the Devourer's focus, summoning illusions of alternate hunger to test whether Galactus responds to actual fuel or to projected need. Galactus answers by folding the fabric of the immediate cosmos into a pattern of consumption, so precise it reads like code. He strips energy from ambient photons and reconfigures empty space into more. The first physical contact is not a fist to a face, but a tug on the universe's ledger. Stars dim, the laws that governed a region change temperature. Thanos counters by killing the light sources he can reach, and by turning the stones into mirrors of impossibility, making his environment hostile to uninterrupted feeding. The two titans duel on different axes. Thanos fights to constrain, to rewrite constants. Galactus fights to restore flow, to reassert consumption as a necessary circulation. Their powers cascade. Beams of power cosmic curl against the mental machete of Thanos' will. Entire moons are stripped to ionic husks and hurled as tridents. At one point, Thanos seizes a strand of Galactus' energy and attempts to weave it into a prison, a lattice of stolen hunger that would bind the Devourer to a finite geometry. The lattice burns like a paradox, for a heartbeat civilization counted in billions hold their breath as realities flicker. Thanos presses, his face an immovable sculpture of intent, and with the gauntlet snap he attempts to excise Galactus' necessity from the cosmic ledger. The result is not immediate victory but revelation. Galactus is not only a force but a relation. Even if an artifact can unmake a being's outer expression, it cannot, without changing the universe's axioms, remove the need he represents. Galactus, feeling the attempt as a wound to the universe's balance, shifts. He does not merely retaliate, he reinterprets Thanos' act as an input. With the power cosmic, he expands consumption in a manner that is not wanton but surgical. He takes from the constructs Thanos uses, from the very energy the gauntlet channels, and transforms them into fuel that reboots his purpose. Thanos, for all his cunning, misjudged the scale at which meaning operates. Each stone's command is a local law. Galactus speaks in universal theorems. The Titan escalates again, sacrificing worlds he had intended to save, detonating them into metaphysical signifiers, trying to shock the Devourer into a concession. Galactus, to preserve the greater balance, increases his appetite not in cruelty, but as correction. He consumes the sacrificial detonations in a way that turns them into a new cosmic current, a tide that rebalances the entropy Thanos sought to tame. The fight becomes existential arithmetic. Thanos uses artifacts and maneuvers to carve away at Galactus' options. Galactus converts Thanos' carved pieces into the terms of his own victory. In the end, malice and reason reach for the same prize, control over what must end and what must continue. The final convergence is sudden and slow at once. Thanos, exhausted of stratagems, channels the remaining stones into a singular decree meant to unmake Galactus' necessity, to write him out of the universe's account books. The gauntlet glows like a sun. Galactus answers not by resisting the command as a creature would, but by acknowledging it as a term to be solved. He extends his consciousness into the law itself, folding the gauntlet's command into the power cosmic and, with that assimilation, transmutes the potential unmaking into a consummation of his role. The attempt to annul him becomes the means by which he affirms his place. The energy of the unmaking feeds the cosmic hunger that defines him. Thanos feels his final move redirected, repurposed for the continuity he sought to terminate. In the quiet aftermath of collapse and recalibration, the universe breathes differently but still breathes. Thanos falls not with a triumph, but with the recognition that intention alone cannot overturn a principle threaded into reality's weave. Galactus remains, altered and heavier for the contest, but intact. His victory is not a cruelty but a metaphysical necessity reaffirmed. The philosophical debate has become a demonstrated proof. One may will devastation for balance, but when balance is itself an ontological mechanism, it resists annihilation. Galactus wins because his existence is not a matter of choice but of function. Thanos loses because even the most relentless will cannot erase the axioms upon which the cosmos calculates its continuing being.